Oh, seven citizens, Black here from Casa Black Gaming, and I hope you're having a great week. Now today I wanted to share one of my quick guides for newer players on being prepared and always having armor at the ready, because a prepared player is a successful player. Especially when it comes to Star Citizen, because a single setback can cost you time and credits. Now before I get into the meat of this video, or veggies if you're a non-meat eater, let me first ask that if you find this guide useful or have come back to my channel more than once now, that you go ahead and subscribe and like the video and join in the conversation in the comments below. I respond to almost all the comments daily, and I enjoy hearing different takes and advice, even if it's contrary to what my video says. Also, if you're a newer player and need more answers, then hop on into my Discord channel, where me and some of the other gamers in the channel are there to give you tips or helpful info to get you up and running in the verse. And so with the housekeeping out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the guide. So to begin with, for newer players, the inventory system can seem to be a confusing mess. I cannot tell you how many comments I get from players who cannot find a certain ship part that they bought or swear their gear is lost due to some bug, when in reality most of the time a player just did not fully understand the inventory system in the game. Once you get it, it just clicks, and for a very detailed explanation of how it all works with examples, check out my inventory guide that I will link at the end of this video. Here briefly, and for the purpose of this guide, I will just say that the inventory system we're concerned with here is the local inventory system. This is the inventory system of all of the stations you visit, whether that's one that's in orbit around a planet or even those various outposts you visit, whether that be a mining outpost like HDMS Norgard on the Aberdeen moon in the Herson system, where you can land your ship on a pad or call out your land vehicles, or even on some of the science stations or illegal drop houses like the orphanage on Lyria in the ArcCorp system. These types of stations all have local inventory, meaning you can leave items there and only you have access to them, whether that be weapons, armor, or various supplies like ammo, food, drink, med guns, and multi-tools. Those items will remain in that local inventory no matter what, so you can leave the planet, log off, die anywhere, or not play for months and come back, and your items will still be there so long as there was not a wipe or character reset, whether by you or after an update. Transferring your items from yourself or your ship into these local inventories is as simple as landing your ships within the area and then standing up inside of your ship. Yes, you can transfer from inside of your ship, at least for now until an inventory change happens. And you can open your inventory and literally just move everything from yourself or your ship into that station's local inventory, and vice versa, from the local inventory onto your ship or onto yourself, all without leaving your ship. Now this will change in the near future, where you will probably need to pack everything into some sort of container, take the container into the station, and then move things over, but for now you can still do this while on your ship. So with that brief explanation of the local inventory, let's go into how this can benefit you. Alright, so I'm sure as I explained to you what local inventory is and it clicked for you, you probably also started envisioning some ideas on how you can use this for your benefit. One of my favorite benefits is just having things like spare undersuits or helmets always at the ready for those instances when I leave a station after dying and forget to re-equip even the basics. More than that though, it's just having the gear I need in convenient locations without having to travel to X station to grab something that I forgot. There's nothing worse than getting out to a derelict outpost to retrieve a package that might be out of reach, only to realize you forgot your multi-tool and tractor beam. And even though sometimes you can use your noggin to find creative ways out of this blunder, such as backing your ship up to the high spot the package is at and jumping out of it and then back into your ship, it's still an inconvenience. So what exactly is staging gear and how can it help you? For those starting out fresh, you will not have much in the way of gear, so you will not benefit from this as much, but it's something to keep mindful as you're going about and doing missions and gathering loot. You're going to find that there are certain missions or gameplay loops that you prefer, no matter if you're doing FPS bunkers, derelict outposts, or even cave mining and medics as well. Let me give you an example. So in 3.17, I frequented Microtech because it has 4 planet-side derelict colonial outposts you can visit all on the planet. Also within the Microtech space is the moon Euterpe with Bud's Growery, which is a known location to find loot boxes with some good weapons, armor, and medical supplies. In fact, during 3.18's test phase, I found found that Bud's Brewery and a few other similar locations around Stanton were the most reliable, safe places to obtain medical gear because the pharmacy terminals on the stations were all busted. So it was good to know alternate locations to find supplies. But anyway, Microtech also has a few mining outposts on the planet itself, but the one I frequented the most was Cuban mining facility SM013. And the reason that was my favorite is because a short distance away was one of the derelict colonial outposts where you can kill some baddies, get their armor and weapons, and even find loot boxes with some decent minables that you could sell. So it made sense to make that mining outpost my little staging area and where I would drop off excess weapons and armor, so if I needed them at any time I could swing by there, land, not even get off my ship, and restock, reload, and go and get out and check the loot boxes at the stations for more supplies, although the loot at those stations is never weapons but mostly food, multi-tools, and their attachments, and some armor, but not usually anything great. So with 3.18 going live at any moment at the time of creating this video, staging areas using local inventories is only going to become more important than ever. There will be derelict colonial outposts on all major moons and planets except Crusader, but I imagine we'll have some platform outposts added sometime in the future. Right now on Hurston, with the new large MSR and 600i rec site on Hurston, it's already a great idea to plan on using outpost ArcCorp Mining Area 141 as a staging area in that region so you can easily offload the gear and loot you'll be getting from that place, not to mention having possible contingency plans in place for when things go wrong, and oh boy will things be going wrong. For those Carrack owners, you could possibly leave your Carrack and thus your spawn point at an outpost where you've staged gear and then fly out on a smaller ship like the Pisces and go to these dangerous outposts, and if anything happens you could respawn nearby with a cache of loot ready to restock with so you can get back into the action and take revenge. Another thing to consider is just the convenience of leaving your own stash houses all over the Stanton system. You never know when you'll need anything, whether that be med supplies or a multi-tool, not to mention having weapons and armor at the ready without having to worry about if you're close by a station that has those shops, and sometimes you set your spawn point at a medical facility because it's the closest to your objective, yet when having to set it for convenience, you're most likely not going to have access to the amenities that you need. Now another tip I want to offer is if you know you frequent a station that does not have, let's say, weapons or ammo for example, that you take extra weapons and ammo to those stations and leave them at that station's local inventory. That way you know no matter what happens to you, if you spawn there, you'll have what you need. I literally try to leave gear all over the place at many stations and will spend free time just flying gear about to various stations, especially when I see I have too much of something in one place. I will try to spread the love, which is the best message I can give you here. Spread the love. Land at a station with your ship full of gear, and while in the hangar, just transfer it all over into that station's local inventory. Not having to get out makes it that much easier, and with 3.18, we have even easier methods to transfer between inventories, so you really have no excuses not to be prepared. Alright, I hope you found this quick guide helpful. Now please let me know down in the comments below which stations you find yourself frequenting and setting up stash houses for. I'm always looking for my next best staging area, and with so many new derelict sites being added into 3.18, the options are about to bust wide open, and I'm excited for it. Anyway, remember to be kind to your fellow gamer, use the system's inventory to work smarter and not harder, and stay positive citizens.